Today I would like to tie for you a salmon fly, and this is the Shady Lady. The hook I have in the vise is a upturned eye salmon hook. This is a size 2. I'm going to start out by weighting this fly. I'm going to use 35 thousandths lead wire. I'm going to put most of the weight from half forward. I'm going to start it at the halfway mark. This is a really heavy lead wire here. I'm going to bring that right up to the fold over of the salmon hook. And then we're going to helicopter that off. I'm going to use 8/0 70 denier thread, and this is black. I'm going to secure the lead with this black thread. I'm going to start behind the lead wraps. Doesn't matter a whole lot. And we're going to wrap forward. And you want to kind of put a base in back and in front of the thread. Kind of help it taper off there a little bit. I'm going to bring the thread back up front and tie that off. Just put a quick whip finish, a couple of half hitches, whatever you. We're going to remove that thread. Now I'm going to use 6/0 Chartreuse thread. And I'm going to start it up close to the lead wraps because I want to cover all of the black thread. I'm actually going to go back on it, just get a nice base of chartreuse on there. You can see it turning more chartreuse. Yeah, we're getting that taper. I'm going to go up on the lead wraps just slightly. I'm putting this base of chartreuse down so black doesn't come through the thread and floss. Now at the tail I'm going to start by tying in the tag and rib, and that is oval silver tinsel. I'm going to tie that in, and I'm keeping the tag a little bit long there. Now for the tail I'm going to use black Hackle barbels. I'm going to put a pretty good amount on there because this is a big fly. And we're going to tie that in. And we want this about half the length of the hook shank. I'm going to remove that excess now. And tie this down good. Cover up the black barbels. And you see I left a little bit of space between the ribbing and the tail. And that is because I'm going to put the tag around the back side and then bring the ribbing up. Now I'm going to take chartreuse, floss, and I'm going to tie that in. Going to move my bobbin cradle around and put my thread in the bobbin cradle. Gonna give it just a half hitch right there. Then I'm going to rotate my vise and put the floss in. I'm going to go back and then forward with the floss. I'm just going to go right up to the tail, and then I'm going to come forward. And I can tie this off at this point. Just give it a few turns to hold it. Trim off that excess. I'm going to give that a whip finish right there. Now I'm going back to the black thread. And I'm going to wrap back on the Chartreuse floss there just a little bit to make sure that I have it secured. Now I'm going to take black floss. I'm going to tie this in. I'm going to stop that about halfway. Going to put my thread in the bobbin cradle, and I'm going to rotate the vise once again. I'm going to come up to the Chartreuse, and I'm going to come back. And I'm going to tie that off there. Now we're going to leave our black floss in place. I'm going to take the oval tinsel and I'm going to wrap a tag underneath the tail. You have to actually wrap over itself. And that last wrap of that tag, I'm going to, let me lift that one up and get one more wrap in there. And the last wrap of the tag, I'm going to put it right close to the tail to hold that down again. Now I'm going to palmer the silver tinsel. We're going to bring that right up to our tie-off point. And we can tie that off. we'll go ahead and remove this. Now we're going to take another black hackle, and this is a semi-soft, mostly soft. You can see the web all the way up to there. We're going to tie this in by the tip. And remove that excess. Going to bring my thread up. We're going to take our black floss and we're going to wrap the remainder of the fly. And we'll tie that off. Put a few wraps in front of it to lock it in. And we can remove the remainder. Now we're going to pull all of the hackle to one side. And we're going to palmer this forward. But as I go, I'm going to make the spaces smaller. And when we get close to the eye, I'm going to wrap several wraps right in place. And that's about it. I'm getting to the really fluffy feather right now. And I'm going to pull that back and wrap in front to lock that in. Remove that hackle. Going to clean up the head. Take our whip finish. Now for the head, you can use your regular head cement. I'm going to use my Deer Creek Diamond Hard UV resin. I'm going to hold all the hackle out of the way just so I don't get any on it. And we'll hit it with our UV light. And here we have this Shady lady. Hope that you learned something from this video. Hope that you would subscribe to my channel. Please refer me to your friends. Leave comments, questions, suggestions, and most of all, thank you very much for watching my videos.